out here at Mercy Field for another edition of BCSN Sports Flash, and we are out in the field today at our BCSN baseball and softball clinic, and it was our great pleasure to have a lot of the athletes that you've had a chance to see during the season at BCSN helping out with the kids at the camp here today, including Kaitlyn Ray, who was an outstanding pitcher for Anthony Wayne this past year. And I'll ask you the same thing that I asked some of the others. I'm sure you probably attended some camps like this when you were young. It kind of maybe take you back a little bit, but this time you're on the instructing side.
Yeah, of course. I went to tons and tons and tons of camps as kids, and even throughout like my early days of high school, I always went to camps and always looked up to the older girls that were there, and like always thought like, oh my gosh, I want to do that, and like hopefully those kids looked at me and were like, oh my gosh, I want to be her. Just kind of like switch roles. Yeah,
it must be kind of a nice feeling to. You looked up to them so much, and now to see those girls kind of looking at you the same way, thinking that it's quite a career you've had.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy just to think like I'm the senior now. Like everyone's like, "Oh, are you finally gonna be a senior?" And I'm like, "Yeah, finally, I'm gonna be the senior." It just kind of hasn't set in yet, but this really kind of helped.
So I'm sure you remember the kids looking up to you, so you wanted to return the favor and be a good role model and teach them things and be really nice to them.
Yeah, definitely. Just want to be a role model for kids and throughout the community.
Yeah. Now, it's interesting. I don't think if it wasn't for a tornado warning that you'd been here today. At the regional semifinal game, you were all set to play Springfield, and there was a tornado warning that delayed the game. And I noticed that a lot of your teammates were making the best of that time, having all kinds of fun. And you were a little quieter. You were getting ready to pitch in a big game. Is that sometimes certain positions, a goalie or a pitcher, they kind of want to separate themselves and focus on the game? Is that what you were doing there, or is that just sort of your style?
It was kind of just my style, and like I knew going in this was the biggest game I would ever pitch. Like going into that Wednesday, I was like, this is my game. Like I have to go out there and I have to play my game. And during the rain delay, they were all listening to music, going crazy, and I'm like, that's not my style. I have to play my game today. So yeah.
Yeah, they definitely were. They were having a good time. I'll say you might as well when you have that time to kill. But you obviously had a big game, as you said. We talked to the Springfield girls, and you were playing Springfield that day. A couple of them were here helping us, and you get along with them. It's obviously you're all friends, which was a cool thing to see. But that day you were opponents, and they had an instance of adversity where the previous year they lost a big game, but they came back and won the state. You had sort of a similar situation. You were really pitching well. You had everything going. Your team was ahead, and then the game got stopped halfway through, and then the next day things didn't go as well. What can you maybe learn from that going forward that can help you in spite of the fact that it must have been a disappointment?
Sure, it was a disappointment, and like that Wednesday we were so up and we had so much energy and we were so enthusiastic, and like we're like, we got this game, and we definitely, I feel like we could have pulled it out, but it got canceled and got moved to Thursday or whatever. And I think the next day we just didn't come with as much enthusiasm. We didn't come with as much heart. Like the one day we were up on the fence being really annoying, but it worked. Yeah. And the next day we came and we're like, oh, we got this. And we kind of had the mindset of like, we got this, when we should have had the mindset of we still have to fight for this. Yeah.
That's well said. And we had a chance to talk to a lot of the kids today about that very thing. And hopefully they'll learn that a lot of times it's the worst disappointments that lead to the big triumphs later. Who knows? Maybe you'll make a big run next year. Are you looking forward to a good season again next year?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's my senior season. How could I not? But yeah, we're hoping to get definitely to regionals and hopefully push past and maybe capture the league title. We've got a lot of talent, and Whole NL has a lot of talent, and so hopefully we can push past and come out on top finally.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to watching you next year, and we really appreciate your taking your time out and joining us here at the BCSN Baseball Softball Camp today.
Thank you.
Kaitlyn Ray of Anthony Wayne, Franke for BCSN.